So Cyberpunk 2077 has been one of the most hyped up games in recent memory. I mean, the aura of hype surrounding this game over the last few years has been insurmountable, which I just mispronounced, but I'm really not worried about it. Has been insurmountable compared to most other games that are coming out. I mean, it's pretty much locked to be a contender for Game of the Year at this point, just simply based on everything going around. And I know that that's kind of a problem that I've had, that I've talked about. It's like, we get really hyped for these games that come out and they suck. But that's the thing I want to talk about today here with Cyberpunk 2077. Now, this game has been delayed several times at this point, and people are getting very impatient because, we've been waiting for this game for so long, everyone's so hyped up over it and everything, it just keeps getting pushed back, and people are getting mad, right? Because, they pre-ordered or something, and they want to get their hands on the game, and they can't yet, so to start this whole thing off, I do want to just go ahead and say, I think that the way that the developers of a lot of these games handle their releases are terrible, simply because it's like, the game clearly isn't ready, right? And that's the thing. The game is not ready to be released. I mean, it went gold or whatever, but that doesn't mean that it's literally a finished product yet. That just means that it is in the stages, it's in the late stages of development. That's where they're going to finish the game up and polish it. That's kind of where they're at right now in the cycle. But, that's the thing, because it's like this game first got revealed so long ago at this point. And they've been building up all the hype with all these, teasers and everything going on for all this time now, and they don't even have the game finished, or they're not in a state to release it when they're saying they're releasing it. And that, I think, is an issue that the whole gaming industry has. It seems like these game developers, to a point, they want to compete with each other for hype, which is understandable because you're marketing games to at the end of the day, a finite demographic of people. Not everyone on planet Earth plays video games. You are competing with other studios and stuff to get customers to buy games. Because most people, they can't spend $60 every week to get a new game. That just isn't feasible, so you are competing, which is, once again, that's understandable, but I mean, I don't get why all these studios are like 3 years ahead of themselves, where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna show the game off and get everyone hyped for this, and then it's gonna come out unfinished, and then, the finished game will be around in 4 years. Or 2 years after the game releases. I never really understood that. And that's the thing with Cyberpunk, right? Because they're clearly taking the approach of like delaying it to make it better compared to other studios who would just release a pile of shit and hope that it just, floats in water. So it's like they should have waited to even announce and reveal this game a lot longer than they did, knowing that it was in the state that it was in. I'm pretty sure they probably knew they weren't going to meet deadlines then, considering the fact that they've had to delay the game several times now. So the game was supposed to come out later next month, I believe, and it's now coming out in early to mid-December. 21 days, I think, is how long they've now delayed the game even further for. And a lot of people are getting, really unhappy about this, which, once again, I understand that, right? Because, you've been looking forward to this for years and whatnot. They've been building up all this hype. Maybe you went and pre-ordered and things like that, and you're excited, right? So that's understandable that people would be upset about this. But I think some people are simply just getting too worked up, man. I think some people are taking this way too seriously. I've been reading around on Twitter, through the comments of their recent post or whatever, and people are getting mad because apparently they took time off to play this game from work and school and stuff like that. So I guess people are so excited for this game that they're going to literally openly choose to lose money by not going to work to play this game. I'm not sure I understand that decision, right? Because, yeah, I make YouTube videos and I trade stocks and whatnot, right? But I would never be like, oh, the new Cyberpunk game's coming out. I'm going to now turn away all my basic responsibilities for a few days to play this new video game, you know what I'm saying? And especially a game that's been repeatedly delayed, because at that point, you could almost flip a coin and wonder if they were going to delay it again. There's no chance I would ever have scheduled time off from my job to go ahead and play this video game. So apparently people were scheduling days off and whatnot. So I'm assuming they were having to lie to their employers, because I can't really see many employers be like, oh yeah, I want to play this new game for a few days. That's the reason I can't come into work for a week. I can't see many employers being like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good excuse to miss work or whatever. So, but what I do understand people being mad about, I'm going to show you guys a screenshot. And even though this person took off work and whatever, and I disagree with that, and I think that that's kind of ridiculous or whatever, they tweeted at the developers, right? They tweeted at the Cyberpunk page and asked for full confirmation that the game was going to come out on the day that it was supposed to, no take-backsies and whatever, and they got a formal reply from the verified account that says full confirmation this is the day that the game is coming out, basically telling this person who is a consumer of the product, hey, yeah, you're guaranteed good today, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and book that day off work if you're really going to. The game's coming out that day, and this was literally just yesterday. It hasn't even been 24 hours. And then now they're delaying the game another almost month or so, right? When this person, literally the day before, got full confirmation that the game was supposed to come out that day and whatnot. And then you see this type of shit, bro. That isn't cool, you know what I'm saying? And I can see why people are mad, especially at a situation like this, because in all reality, the developer straight up fucking lied to them, you know what I'm saying? If you read this tweet and you booked off time, the developers did fucking lie to you. Now, I guess there's a scenario potentially here that kind of explains this. Maybe the person running the PR, right? Maybe they really did think that that's the day the game was coming out, and maybe like the studio heads or whatever came into the office today and was like, hey folks, we have to delay it again. You know, basically making the call after this tweet had come out and after they had already gotten full confirmation or whatever that that was when they were supposed to launch. Which, if that's the case, that's kind of shitty because now the PR team is getting looked at as a bunch of liars and like they just misled one of their biggest fans or whatever who was taking time off work to play the game. Even though it may not be fully their fault, I mean, in all reality, we're never going to know if that was the case or not, but when it comes down to this game, man, you know, I am excited for it. I think it's going to look pretty good. I think it's going to play pretty well. I'm hoping that that's the case. And I hate getting excited for video games anymore because I've been let down so many times in recent years by games that have, you know, that hype that Cyberpunk had. And I really don't want to get let down again, man, but I mean, I really do have faith that all of these delays mean that the game is going to be good because a lot of these studios that drop these products out that end up fucking sucking, right? You know, they don't care about delaying the game. They don't care about pushing the product back and making it any better. Usually when a developer does something like that, it means that the game gets better. I mean, you look at other studios like Rockstar is very notorious for pushing back and delaying their products. And it seems like every single time that Rockstar does this, the game comes out and it's fucking immaculate, right? They've done something crazy and innovative that makes the game stand above all the competition. Grand Theft Auto 5 got delayed, Red Dead 2 got delayed, and I mean, you look at those games, Grand Theft Auto 5 is, I think, now the best-selling piece of entertainment media, regardless of, like, type of all time. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the most critically acclaimed games in history, and a lot of people still love that game to this day. They both did a lot of incredible things for open-world games, for story-driven games. Grand Theft Auto Online changed a lot of how multiplayer games work, and all kinds of different things came from Rockstar doing things like this. Now, the people behind Cyberpunk 2077, I believe, is CD Projekt Red? And if I'm right about that, they make some pretty fucking good games. You know what I'm saying? They do pretty well when they put out products. Now, if Ubisoft or EA decided to, like, if they had control of this game, I would have pretty much no faith. I'd be like, well, fuck, this game's gonna be a flop. And, you know, maybe that's the wrong mentality to have, but I mean, I just don't trust those developers as far as I can throw them most of the time. So with this game being pushed back, I mean, I see both sides of it, I really do. Like, I understand why people are disappointed, but I mean, personally, it excites me because at the end of the day, man, I just want to play a good fucking game. I don't care if the game comes out a month later. If that means that they fix some major issues with the game, and I don't have to wait a month after release already being disappointed to get the update that was supposed to fix the game, then I'm all for that. At the end of the day, my life does not revolve around this game. It seems like some people have gotten so excited for it that they're starting to let their excitement of this game dictate their lives, you know, to the point they're calling off work and whatever. And I mean, that's cool. If that's what you want to do, you know, go for it. I'm happy that you found something to be excited for, but it's like, I don't put that much faith into this game. And seeing the actions that the studio's taking to hopefully perfect the game has me pretty excited, and honestly has me very optimistic, no pun intended, that this game is going to be better off for it. So I mean, if I have to say one final thing before I wrap this video up, I would preach a little bit of patience here. I mean, sure, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they delay this game several times and it comes out fucking terrible and it's the worst game that we've seen or whatever, right? There is the possibility, but do I believe that that's the case? Absolutely not. It seems like historically, delaying a game has very good impacts on it, especially if it has to be delayed several times to make it even better. And at this point, honestly, I expect it to get delayed again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from what they're showing us, like, this is going to be a massive game with all these cool features and whatever. I fully expect another delay, even though, you know, they're probably never going to tell us that until the time is coming to put the game out. But I mean, I'm cool with being patient, right? You know, there's other games coming out that I'm, I guess, gonna play, you know? And I guess there's other things for me to do than to sit around and just wait for this game to come out and that be the only thing I'm looking forward to, so... At the end of the day, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus, make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members, your support helps my channel tremendously, and until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, waiting on Cyberpunk 2077 whenever that day might come, and signing out.